I realized how every single time that a confident woman starts winning, people around her become colder, passive-aggressive, and they start treating her differently. Especially the people that were supposed to be happy for her. The problem is not our success, it's the fact that we ruined their plan to watch us fail. I'm gonna show you the psychology of why this happens, how it affects our self-esteem, and how to protect our energy and our confidence without becoming passive-aggressive as well. So if every time that you become more confident, more attractive, or just more successful, people try to humble you, then this video ended up in the right place. In this first part, I'm going to tell you why this happens. And the reason is that they were never rooting for you. That's why being successful and secure in yourself feels like a lonely path. But these people were never there to see you winning. The first thing I want you to understand, every single time that you realize that someone is not rooting for you, leave. Leave immediately. And I don't care if this person didn't do anything wrong to you. The people that don't naturally support their friends, they're just sitting in the first row to watch them fail. Like, I see so many people around me that they supposedly want to be my friends, but every single time that I start something new or that I achieve something, they never show support. Never. But then when something bad happens, these people are all ears. They want to know everything about it. When you notice that someone doesn't celebrate your wins, never dare sharing your difficult moments. I generally never share anything about me, unless it serves to help someone, like what I do on this channel. For example, I share. Very few are the people that you will see me venting to about my personal stuff, about my personal achievements, or even about my bad news. Very few people. I know that information is power, and you have to be very wise whom you share your power with. Because even doing like I do, I always find someone that somehow they manage to use what I say against me. They don't always show you the bad side. They work in cycles. There is this part of the cycle where they study you, they understand what hurts you, what is important for you, and how to sabotage you. And then there is the other part of the cycle where they actually sabotage you. Notice how one day they're super kind, super interested in you, and then next time, by mistake, they spill something about you that just happens to ruin your image in someone else's eyes. Notice patterns and don't obsess over what they did that one time, okay? If the cycle always ends up with you questioning yourself or their intentions, that's not an accident. So don't confront them emotionally, just stop feeding them information. Stop talking about yourself almost completely. They need access to you in order to keep their power. Notice how they get extremely offended when you don't allow them the same access to you anymore. This happens mostly with family members because they feel entitled to your inner world. They want to know everything about you. Why is that? Because they realize that if you stop oversharing with them, they lose power over you. They can't track anymore if you're still succeeding or finally failing, and so they can't control you. Access to you has to be earned, and it can't be taken back every time. No one has granted access just because they are family, friends, because they did something for you at some point in your life. Your boundary isn't dramatic. It's just shorter replies, less sharing, more privacy. That's it. Another thing I noticed is that our clarity exposes their excuses. Another reason why they're hard to spot. Because when they meet you, they're extremely inspired by you. They adore you. They think that they want what you have. But then they realize that to get where you are, you actually work hard. That if they want the same results as you, they can't stay the same version of themselves that they are in that moment. They have to actually change. So now, boom, you broke their illusions. You ruined their idea of reality. And now they're grieving their version of reality. When you live intentionally with self-respect and you stop editing yourself based on who is watching you, you raise the level of clarity around you. Your presence becomes unshakable. And this can trigger people. It makes them feel exposed. Even if you're not judging them, they're forced to see what they're not doing for themselves, even though they could. Their talking points die, their excuses collapse. They realize that it was not about luck, money, metabolism, some goddamn miracle, but it was all about their own choices. And when people feel exposed, they don't debate what was said, they attack who said it. That's why they take it up with you. Take something like just being slim. People, when they realize that you don't have a magical metabolism, that you don't have an eating disorder, that you just have discipline and respect your body, that alone ruins their coping mechanism. They are unwilling to put in the work, so they will do everything to protect their narrative. I've been struggling with binge eating disorder for a big part of my life, and no one ever accused me of having an eating disorder. The moment that I started regulating my hormones and actually respecting my body, taking care of it in the right way, people immediately started counting my calories, saying that I eat too little. Everyone was suddenly specialized in nutrition because they want to accept the reality that binge eating is normal and taking care of yourself, being careful about what you put in your body is not okay. You will see every channel that talks about just how to stay slim, how to stay in shape. You will see them all banned, demonetized. Why is this? Because everyone wants to normalize what is easier. Binge eating, not taking care of yourself, neglecting your basic needs. When this happens, realize one thing. They're not attacking you. They're attacking the version of themselves that they see through you. And stop trying to prove them wrong. When people feel exposed, they will twist every story that you tell them. The real boundary is changing the subject, not seeing them as often, not sharing details about your life, and also don't try to convince them that they can also get there, over explaining how you managed to do that. No, because they can't. Why they can't? Because they don't want to. If they wanted, they would have asked you for advice instead of criticizing. This shows them that you don't depend on their approval, and also that you are not willing to participate in this petty dynamic. For what I noticed, they will most likely try to create a problem for every solution, because this is what people do when they just don't want to evolve. Actually listen. When these people try to convince you that you can't have something, always think that they can't have it with their mentality. If someone has it, you can also have it. And stop letting their limitations limitate you. You do deserve the perfect relationship, the perfect body, the perfect job. You deserve anything that you want. You just need to put the work. They are just not willing to put the work. That's what they can't have it. I live in my own little world, in my mind. I don't care if this world is delusional. I stopped questioning the blessings that come into my life. I take them and I accept them because I see so many people, they already have the blessings that I want. So just because these people don't do the work doesn't mean that you have to doubt that your hard work will pay off. And now let's talk how to spot these people. Polarization means that you matter. This is when some people hate you and some people love you. The more meaningful your presence is, the more polarizing you are. Some signs that you're standing out are like some people really love you, they appreciate you a lot, like extremely, from one extreme to the other one where people actually hate you. These people, they accuse you that you changed. They try to make you feel ignored, but then at the same time, you see that they are always checking your profiles, they are checking your stories, they are the first one always to appear at the top of your viewers of the stories. Whatever they can do to stalk you. But then they always ignore everything. So they never make you a compliment, they never congratulate you with something. They ignore you but loudly. The psychology behind this is that a neutral presence is safe for everyone, but important to no one. Usually, they see you once, they smile at you, but then next time they see you, they don't even remember who you are. But when your presence is confident and unshakable, it radiates truth. Your truth. Emotionally, it creates winners and losers. Because people, we are literally wired to compare ourselves to the rest of the group. If everyone always likes you and agrees with you, you're not standing out, you're fitting in. There was this person once in the comments that told me, you use ChatGPT scripts for your videos, this and that, even though my video was literally grounded in my personal experience. It was one of the videos about Slavic culture. I'm Slavic, literally. And this person was like, you use ChatGPT, but then they also said, you have no idea of how to talk English. So, excuse me, if I use ChatGPT scripts, the English is supposed to be even over-polished. This person wanted to dismiss what I said because it was making them uncomfortable about what they do, their reality, whatever choices they are making. So they decided in their little brain to call me stupid. Let's even say for a moment that my scripts are actually from ChatGPT, that I didn't study neuroscience and human behavior since I was a teen because it was always my obsession, that I don't actually work on my vocabulary to be able to speak in a better way. Does this make the information that I say less real? Because you see, they don't focus on the information. They focus on trying to tear down who is saying it. They take it up with my accent, with my authenticity, like making me look worse makes them look better somehow. When you are real and you're not ashamed of who you are, you confront all the people that not only they're ashamed, but they're also not willing to do anything to improve. So they will do anything in their power to make you the villain. So in this case, just be the villain that they need. Transform their attacks into direction. Take notes of what they don't like about you, what they constantly attack, and work on those things even harder. They say that you try to sound too smart, whatever. Okay, get even wiser, even smarter, talk in a way that is even more confident. They say that you care too much about your physical appearance. Cool, glow up even more. Do everything in your power to look the best that you can. Use what they fight against to understand which ones are your strengths and how to improve those things even more. Let them cry about you being too above until they decide to rise. Another thing is that these people have this imaginary hierarchy, like I always say about this. The hierarchy hurts more than an insult, because for these people, they understand life like above, below, better, worse. Because of your strong presence, the moment that you enter the room, it forces them to put themselves lower in that hierarchy. And because humans are wired to compare themselves to the rest of the group, their ego gets hurt very fast. Insecure people don't use comparison as a tool to evolve, which is the reason why we have this instinct. They use it to compete. So instead of working on themselves, they work on bringing you down, on making you look somehow worse in someone else's eyes. That's why their anger and their attempts to erase you are really just their defense mechanism, a way to protect themselves from the shame that they don't want to feel. We don't fight this either. We refuse to play smaller for their comfort, but also refuse to perform for their approval. And another thing I want you to notice is contradictory criticism. They never criticize you to build you up. They criticize you to bring you down. Like, you can notice this with the example I said before. You are too knowledgeable to be real, to be speaking truly, but you also can't speak English. Also think about when a woman wants to be provided for and everyone is like, she's a gold digger, she takes advantage of men. And then when the same woman opens a business and she starts creating or selling something, people go like, oh, you charge for that? They are not describing reality. They are just discharging their emotions and their frustrations on us. They're trying to make you insecure about your strengths, so hopefully you shrink them. In that intent, they try whatever insult that comes to their mind, and at some point their insults end up contradicting each other. When someone is regulated, criticism makes sense. They mostly state how they feel about something, they explain why. But when someone is dysregulated, their criticism becomes chaotic because they operate from the urge to bring you down to their level. So never internalize this type of criticism because it doesn't say anything about you. It says everything about their internal state. If you start doubting yourself, you fall into their emotional game. Stop, breathe, remember this thing, label it mentally, respond calmly if you have to respond, but mostly don't engage emotionally. Here, staying composed is your power. The more unshakable your presence, the harder it is for them to destabilize you. And the harder they try, the more obvious their weakness becomes. Another problem that people might have with you is that you reached from point A to point B with every possible obstacle on your path. They realize that nothing was granted to you, and even so you managed to get things done. They feel like you even thinking that you can go so far out of your reach means that you feel above everyone. And this illusion builds resentment because most people, they don't believe in themselves at all. They see your confidence as competition with them, not as your personal evolution. I remember when I was 8 and I moved to Italy, and before starting the school, in 3 months, I learned the entire language. I passed the entry test so hard that they literally made me skip one entire grade. Now, no shit that everyone was bullying me because despite all the problems that I had, all the obstacles, I was learning every subject very fast, and during the year I was getting higher grades than everyone else, than all the native speakers. They were expecting to get more far than you, or at least the same as you. But you broke their expectation of superiority. They feel like you stole their power, like what you have belongs to them. Your authority is yours. Your confidence, your discipline, your achievements, all yours. You don't explain just to make people feel competent. Their anger, their jealousy, their competition, that's all theirs. That has nothing to do with you. It's only them trying to make sense of the fact that you rose further than they thought was possible for you. And keep getting bigger, keep growing, because the more you grow, the smaller their attacks feel. You exist, you expand, and no one can touch that. When you get too confident, people start manipulating you by announcing that they are gonna leave, but they never do. If they wanted to leave, they would be gone. But when they tell you randomly, I don't care about you anymore, I am done with you, they do this because they feel like their approval doesn't matter anymore. They want to feel relevant by making you chase them. If you didn't do anything wrong to them personally, don't disappoint yourself trying to make them stay. You can tell them that this is the person that you evolved into, and if they don't feel aligned with you anymore, they are free to leave. Never beg for them to stay. I usually even distance myself a bit just to make them realize the weight of their own words, and so they can understand if they truly want to leave, and I can understand if this is manipulation or it's the truth. Most people in this moment start chasing you even more because they realize that this tactic didn't work on you, and now on top of that they risk losing you. Another thing they do is accusing you of not being yourself anymore. Like your change was something bad that happened. And this is another attempt to put you back at your previous level. They do this when they realize that they can't access your new level of thinking and being. So in order to connect with you, they actually have to evolve. Instead of evolving, they get angry at you. They externalize it as blame. They start trying to make you feel guilty about who you are now, how you became better, like you left them behind somehow. This is not a feedback about you. This is just them grieving the relationship that you used to have with them when you were on lower level. We don't question ourselves. We question why they don't want us to evolve. Maybe for them our less confident and successful version is more convenient or easier to predict. When you jump to the next level in your life, you need to learn how to read people and their intentions. This will make you notice the dynamics that push you back down every time that you evolve and that keep you small. And this is a lot of what I talk on this channel, but always observe more than you react. Take your time to give feedback in an interaction. Don't force a face expression or a reaction that is expected in a certain moment. You can also keep your face warm but neutral until a natural reaction arises, for example. I always do this. I don't scan people like I'm observing you, but I keep like a face that is soft, kind, but not forcing that reaction. The reaction comes, but the less you focus on delivering the reaction right away, the more time you have to observe them. And the more you observe them, the faster you learn to read them. One thing I want you to leave this video with, because people say just protect your energy. But what if I told you there is no such thing like protecting your energy? And this is what I'm about to tell you, scientifically proven, because our nervous systems are designed to synchronize to other nervous systems around us. So the moment that you are just close to those people, no matter if you don't interact, if you don't listen to them, if you don't internalize, your nervous system is going to synchronize to theirs. So you're going to become more and more like them. And this I noticed so much with some of my family members that are so toxic that even if I don't interact with them, I don't reply, I overwork myself even just to not focus on them. But then when I go somewhere else, I start becoming like them. I start behaving like them. And as soon as I have some space for myself, I return to my normal self. There are situations where you can't leave, but you need to do everything in your power to limit access to you and stop feeling sorry for them. Because they literally feel sorry for your success while you're here doing charity work for their misery, just because they are family members or because they did something for you in the past or because whatever reason. These people literally use you as a power bank because they can't generate their electricity in their own life. But you have the power to decide for yourself that you are no longer a power bank for people that have literally no intention to rise. You don't owe access to your evolution to anyone. Not your friends, not your family, none of the people that were present when you were struggling, but they disappeared when you started winning. And when they start hating on you because you cut them out, remember that the higher you go, the quieter their voices become. I really hope this helped, and I'm sending you so much love, and see you next time.